Namaskaram, this is Tony Parra. The time will hopefully come in your life where you will simply not have the answer to resolve your situation, when you won't have the strength or intelligence to face the daunting perplexity of your circumstances. This can be a scary moment for sure, but from my perspective, it's sad when one never gets to have such a beautiful experience like this in their life. In these disastrous conditions that can sometimes create debilitating fear, angst, depression, and all types of self-doubts, there's a beautiful process that occurs within the psyche. It's truly all just part of a brilliant design stemming from the deep unconscious that produces these chaotic moments in order to spark intrigue, to reanimate, or to initiate growth. It's a sort of incentive for the ego, a kick in the rear, that pushes the ego to have a new experience of oneself. You see, the base nature of your psyche is actually androgynous, but our culture caters to and predominantly nurtures the masculine, right? Which is only part and parcel of the wholeness of our being. Yoga is a system which, at its peak, culminates in disillusionment. We learn to observe very closely and come to a state of discriminative knowledge, which allows us to know what we are and what we are not. The yogic process bestows us with the ability to observe the polar opposites and the dynamic dance that they indulge in. The pole dance. and and through prolonged observation, we become very familiar with this dance. The importance that each partner plays in it, as well as their relationship to the whole or the pole itself. The yogic system is one primarily based on relationship. The relationship between the cosmic soul and the individual soul, between the formless and form, consciousness and the mind and thoughts, breath in the mind, breath and body, prana, apana, between all the directions, rajas and tamas, reality, illusion, the sun and the moon, between the conscious and unconscious, and feminine and masculine, and so much more. The yogic system gives us an opportunity to transcend these dual functions. And in this transcendence, we get a fresh perspective of how things work in our lives and also why they are working in this manner. Yoga gives us practical techniques that help us to restore equanimity and balance to these forces. That even allows us to direct these forces. The battle for dominance between these opposing forces is what causes the friction and apparent chaos in our lives. This chaos and the ensued suffering is an alert that lets you know you must take a new route, a different perspective in order to restore the harmony and fulfillment in your life. These disasters that arise in life, they're just inevitable symptoms of an imbalance or predominance of one of these opposing forces. When we can learn to reintegrate these dynamic aspects into our being, it brings a greater sense of purpose or wholeness. Because when they are reintegrated into our nature, they merge together as a unified whole. It's also very good to know that we can get to a state in our development where we no longer need to learn by means of imbalances, by suffering. Suffering itself actually becomes much harder to perceive once the soul is infused with the light of intelligence. The yogic state is a revelation that brings all oppositions to a resolution, where the yogi is dispelled from false perceptions and ignorance. Namaste.
Om Klim Krishnaya Namaha. Om Klim Krishnaya Namaha. Om Klim Krishnaya Namaha.